Morning, everyone. How you doing? How's your week been? Hopefully it was good. It's a little sunny here, so hopefully we'll have a good day and not too much rain. All right. Give me just a sec to get the computer started so we can make sure I stay on screen. That would be nice, huh? Let me know if you're watching. Say hi. Today is going to be I knew I was going to mess this up. Quadrilateral card. I've done one in the past, but this one has a little bit of a twist. Okay, good. There I am. We are ready to go. Okay, looks like we need to go up a little bit. Make sure we're all in kind of, have to be leaning over the table today. All right, so what I've got in front of you is a little template on how to cut your paper. So what you can do is just start in one corner and mark an inch, and then turn it this way, mark an inch, and keep turning it the same way to mark your inch. Then when you get done, you line up this 1 inch mark with this 1 inch mark. So then you'd have two pieces. Then you turn it, keeping those two pieces together, and you cut. Okay, I'll show you that in a minute because I'm going to show you an easy way to do it on my trimmer that you don't have to mark it. But I wanted you to have this, so I'm going to set that right there so you can take a screenshot. Keep my fingers out of the way for a minute. And thank you to Robin. I'm not going to butcher her last name. That's where I found the video, and then I just tweaked it to our close to my heart stuff. All right, so this is the same 6x6 to start with, and I'm going to line up where you would normally cut it in half, and I'm going to turn this to the 1 inch and make sure that down here it also is at the 1 inch. So that is basically doing what this line is, okay? We're going to cut that. Then we're going to turn it counterclockwise. We're going to line this back up with 1. Stick this together as best as you can. And we've got to make our point go to 1. Line it up and our point to 1. Like so, and it's just a matter of angling it. If it's not going, it's because you didn't angle it, okay? And then we're going to cut this group. So now we have 4 pieces. Okay. So what are we going to do with those 4 pieces? These 4 pieces I'm actually going to set aside because I've already got some 4 pieces, and we will come back to this one at the end. So here's the first card that I made. This is one of those pieces, okay? Don't fret, I am going to make one in front of you. Here are the pieces that you need. This is just cardstock size. This one is 4 by 5 1/4, and that's what you're going to build everything on. This piece is 2 3/4 by 4. So if you wanted to cut all these pieces out at once, you know you've got 4 of these, so you would need 4, 4, and 4. This is just to step it up a notch, okay? I got my butterfly done. So we're going to layer that, leave that one there. We're going to take this piece, and depending on where the straight cut is, okay, yeah, no. No. Oh, there we go. It can get a little confusing, I'm gonna say. But the straight piece goes up at the top, okay? That's the easiest way I can tell you, and you might fumble with it like I did, but that's okay. So we're just gonna glue this down. Come back here. Make sure I'm staying up high enough. My head gets in the way, forgive me. So we're going to glue that down. Then, instead of putting adhesive on here, because this is going to lay right in here, and you don't know where to glue. So I'm just going to put my glue on here, and then I know I've got plenty of glue. Again, make sure I'm staying on camera. And try and get it straight, okay? And then I like to use a little bit bigger scissor because it's easy for me. The other little scissors work great, but it's easy for me to cut the card. I don't know why. I just do. So we're going to trim that off. See, I'm already cutting the card with this one. All right. So that's what we're ended up with. And then I'm just going to add this little bit, and I know it's a 1/2 inch, and I know my tape runner's a 1/2 inch. So I can just, again, run the tape along there. That way you don't have sticky hands, and it's easier to place it. And then you can always go back and see if you can lift anything up. I mean, right here, no, it's down, it's down. But if it wasn't, then you could easily just lift it up and put a little more tape under it, okay? So again, try not to cut the fold of your card off. And there we go. So that just give it a little bit more, right? All right. And then we've got some words, and instead of just the line, which is what Robin did, is I thought I would add a little bit more of a saying one. I'm not sure where I want it. First of all, make sure you turn it the right way. Okay, so let's ink that up. Move that out of the way. Sorry. I'm going to turn this so I'm doing it straight along the angle. Yeah, hopefully my head doesn't get in the way. There we go. And I've got my little butterfly with already some adhesive on the back, and I do want to show you how I colored this little butterfly. So you can see it's got some color on it. And Robin said that usually this intersecting point is where you would want to stick something. And so we're just going to stick that right there. Okay, let's build our card. Got our base. And you know me, I look at where I can see where the paper's going down to help keep me straight. And I'm usually looking at 3 corners. I start with this one, I look to this one and to this one, because this one usually my hand is in the way. So if you measure those 3 sides accurately, the last one should work. So see, it just adds a little bit more, a little bit different words, and then you can add some bling. I just pulled out what matches. And these little carrier sheets are nice because you can just kind of put it around and see where you want it, what color you want. So let's use some green since we've got some green in there. And this is where we make our triangle, and if you want, you can set it down lightly so that way you can pick it up again. I never know where to go with bling. Let's put one there. Let's do maybe a blue one up here. And I like to kind of tuck them in a little bit sometimes. Let's see, how about a yellow one? So triangle could be up here, it could be down here, it could be on the black to make that stand out. So there's a triangle there. It's just a long skinny one. So card number 1, card number 2. Now, with that same paper, you can, oh, let me back up a minute. I'm going to show you the butterfly. So I just pulled out a couple of markers that I thought would match. I've got the iced ice blue and the true blue. And this one I did the true blue, and this one I did the ice blue, which the ice blue is a little bit closer to this glacier color. So I started off with the light color, and I've already got half of it on there. And I just kind of scribbled it on. And then I went to the medium and I put it closer to the, so I'm not totally overlapping the light color. And that's all I did for that. And I also stamped it on the flamingo color with the black ink. So you don't always have to stamp in white and color it. You can make a little quicker coloring by doing it that way. Okay, so there's card number 1, card number 2. Now, the back side of this is polka dots. So you can turn it over. And here's the next card that I did. Again, I kind of changed it a little bit differently. I added this little 1/4 inch strip of black, put the happy birthday and little stars. Again, they're in a long triangle. And I'm gonna hold this one up. Hopefully you can see on camera that there is right here and on here and even down here on the cupcake, there is some shimmer brush in the matching colors of Honey Butter and Seabrook. And I'll take a still shot so that way you can see that a little better. So this is card number 3, and we got one more to do. Okay, now we'll go back to those pieces I told you about. So here's my pieces and my stamps and image. And let's see, I'll show you how I kind of build it and think it through. So we can go this way, or we can go, oh, and the other thing I wanted to tell you is that you can also do it this way and do it landscape. You don't have to do them all vertical, okay? And then I have, look at that, a couple pieces of, remember you need a couple pieces of something else. So see if we turn this over. Then we could use either this one or this side, and it would still look good. Ah. And I think I'm going to do it, I'll try and do it this way. Let's do it this way. We'll do it landscape. And I kind of like those two. Let me see. There we go. Those two together. Because I am going to be using a stamp that has this kind of pattern and airplane. Okay, so let's move those out of the way. And I've also got this if we want to put across here. Okay, so let's see what we end up with. All right, where'd my tape go? It's usually right in front of me. So let's tape our quadra part of it onto here. And then again, remember I told you that we just need to tape the card base because it's easier. Leaves your hands free and you're not sticky and sticking your arm in glue. So there's that. I'm going to need to trim it off. Let's see. Oh, sorry. I just hit the camera. I just wanted to see if anybody had a question. I have to look at my phone and it's in an apparatus so I can barely see the comments. Need to figure out a way to change that. Okay. Get rid of that. All right, so now we've got this, and let's do it this way. So we know this is 1/2 inch. And you could use liquid glue too and just run it up along the line of that. Get that on there. And then we'll trim that off. Oh, I didn't quite get it. got just a little wiggle room if you don't push it down too hard. Didn't quite get it all the way up on there. So I try not to push it down too hard until I really look at it. Make sure it's where I want it to be, okay? And this is just the zip strip from the paper pack. One of them. All right, and then I borrowed a stamp set, and I've got, oops, this. And so this is that little, and you probably can't see it, I'll stamp it. That little swirly, I call them butterfly trails, you know. And this is actually a clock, but I'm going to use it. And I need to figure out what color. So I've got the colors, some of the colors from the paper pack. And I've got to figure out what color I want the happy birthday to be, which I think I might do, and where I'm going to put this. I want to put it right there, and then maybe I'll move it here and put happy birthday there. So you've got to think about, you know, what your words are, how much room you're going to need. And so let's put that on first, and I think I'll do that in the green. So again, season your stamp on your arm, your hand, whatever. And always have some scratch paper to check it. And we'll get the happy birthday on there. It's a solid image, so I like to let it sit there a minute so that way it transfers all that ink nicely. And I think I always cut myself an extra one just in case, especially when I got more than a couple of colors that I want to try. So again, we're going to test that out. That's kind of cool. And if you can't see something white on white, pull it over to like a table, and then you'll be able to see it a little better. And this is a very fine line, so I'll show you that again because I don't think I was on camera. Let me wash it off quick. And I'll put it up here. Sometimes I'll even just stamp it in a couple of colors, so that way I can see which one I like better. So because it's a fine line stamp, just a little bit of pressure. You don't need as much as you think you do. There. Easy to use. Okay. So now, since we have the two colors, we've got our green here, so I use the colors that are in there so that way it kind of blends. So then you can stick that on and say, do I like that one? Or do I want this one? And I think I want the blue. Okay, so I'm going to put this down. And I also like to use my grid, keep everything straight. And then I think I might raise this up with a little foam tape. What's that foam tape? A little bit of foam tape on there. And then after this card, I have one more thing to show you that you can do. And that's a plan random. Okie doke. I like to use my tool so I can see where I want it. Kind of like the heart showing that way. There we go. So there's that. And then let's see, where did I put my bling for that? I think I put it away. Hold on, let me get some bling out. All right, let's see what we got. There's some sapphire. Oh, good, and we have some pine. And I even have some scarlet, which is all the colors of inks that I used. So since I didn't use a whole lot of scarlet, I think I'll add a couple of those. So pull that out. Probably won't use the green because I've got a lot of green on there already. Let's pull out the blue. And here's something that I do when there's like more than one color in a pack. I'll look it up online and I'll put it in order from left to right. It was Sapphire, Bluebird, and Periwinkle in this kit. Now, not to say this one up here is actually Sundance and not Honey Butter, but it works. All right, so let's figure out what we want. And this is a birthday card for a guy, so I think I might go with the stars. So I can put one there. And these stars, you know, have 3 different sizes, so it's good to use the 3 different sizes that you have. It's kind of small. Let's use a bigger one. And, you know, that's just the, it's just the general rule. You can do what you want to do. All right, let's see. And odd numbers look better. So, let's see. Maybe the green will be okay. Let's try a green one. We'll have all 3 colors. Kind of just makes it blend a little easier. All right, yeah, I like that. How about that? Very good. All right, let's get rid of this. I have one more thing to show you. I hope that you'll try this and send pictures. So there's card number 4. And now I want to show you, get rid of all this mess. So I got to pull in some other inks. Okay. So I am pulling in peach, charcoal, and sage. Okay. And we're going to do a plan random stamping. So this is what I did. I'll leave you so you can take a screenshot. And I'm going to show you how to do this. It's random stamping, but it is planned to get it to look nice. And then you would just cut this out like I did this patterned one, okay? So, plan random, you start with your biggest stamp first, and there's no reason why you can't add words as well. So my biggest stamp is peach. And I like to start in this left corner and work my way down and across. Not lined up, because that's too hard to stay lined up. If you want to, you know, put some light pencil marks in and you want to line it up, by all means, go ahead. That just is not me. And then I like to kind of go off the page a little bit. And sometimes I'll double up because this is going to be both peach. So I just put one on one side, one on the other. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Even though this one is a little bit lower down and these 2 are off the page, that's okay. Now we've got 1, 2, 3. And then we go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I know it looks spaced out, but we've got a lot of stamps to add, okay? So you want to kind of space them out because a couple of mine are big. And then I'm going to just do the same thing. 1. And I'm just going to kind of fill these in next to the other ones. So that way you get a good, and you can even turn your paper because that'll turn your stamp for you as well. Okay. There we go. And the more that you do it, and I always put it back to where I started. I don't know, for me that just works. But the more you practice this, the better you'll get. Okay, so now I'm going to put in the words because that's the next biggest one. And instead of going black, because the peach and the sage are such a lighter color, oh, and I hope you can see this, not very well, I'll hold it up. I went to charcoal instead of black. And so my words, I'm going to make sure that in the foreground where it's not going to get hopefully too cut off, that I make sure I have some that are the whole words. So that way, hopefully, and you can always add these words down below once you're done too. Hopefully, you know, they don't get cut off. So I made sure I got 3 of those, and I kind of turned my paper so they don't all go the same way. And then I'm just going to put some little bits around, and not every little bit. We gotta save room. We still got 2 more stamps to add, and that's why I go biggest to smallest. So there, we've got that. And now we're going to go to our green and our smallest stamps that we may have. And I'm going to start with the biggest one. Remember, we're starting in the corner, and we're just kind of filling in. And there's no reason why you couldn't overlap a little bit too. It just depends on what you have and what you're using and what you want to do. So plan random is a little bit strategic, but it can be whatever you want. And you could also color these in if you wanted. I mean, you could add polka dots. I mean, it can just go on and on. I will say that less is usually more, so try not to, you know, be too heavy-handed with it. And there again, start out with less. You can always add another little bit. So this is my smallest stamp, and I'm just going in. I'm going to make sure that I turn it so they're not all going the same way. And I'm just kind of filling in where there's a little bit of a hole. And I'm making sure that we just fill those in. And on the sides, you know, we want a little contrast. I did the top part, so now I'm going to do the bottom part, so that way it doesn't look all top part, top part, top part. And here again, you got to stop and look back and say, I can leave that little bit of white space there and there and there. Yeah, I think I'm done. Remember, less is more. Give it a second, walk away from it, come back and look. Okay, so let me hold this up. And I started off here. So give this a try. And then we can cut this out if you want. Probably like to see. I'm kind of curious what it's going to end up like. And this will be a bonus card. So I'll make it off camera and I'll take a picture for you. Okay. And you get this one more time, how to do this. So point to point, how it would be in the trimmer. Counterclockwise to 1 inch. On the top and the bottom, straighten them out, and then we cut. Then we counterclockwise. That is a girlfriend in the kitchen that you might be hearing. And we're going to go one. It's easiest to do it here, because then you're not doing too much wiggling around. There we go. Oops. Make it as straight as you can so it's kind of what you need. Okay, like so. All right. So also, and I'm just thinking of this now, also thank you for shopping with me. I know that it's been difficult lately, but we'll get through it. But wouldn't this be kind of cool? Like if you put this, so say, let's see. I don't know if this will work or not. Yes, it will. All right. Say you're doing a scrapbook page, right? Why couldn't you, and you could even leave a little bit of a space in between here, and maybe you have a color underneath. Where's my 12? Right here. Let's see, now I messed it up which way it went. There we go. So here is what the 12 by 12 could look like. Draw mine. So here's 12. So this could be a scrapbook page, and that would look really cool. And then on the other side you could have it here and here, so that way it would flow across. So maybe I'll even cut these two up and put them on a scrapbook page. Okay, so let me pull in what we did today. So this will be a big bonus one. So here is, and I don't like that. Here is card number 1, card number 2, card number 3, card number 4. Thank you, Robin. Tell me which one is your favorite. Hey, Dolores, thanks for watching. And if you're going to give this a try, you know me, I like to do simple things that look hard. So give it a try and post a picture underneath. I'd love to see it. That's all for today. Watch for that bonus one a little bit later today. And I will see you next week. Bye, everybody.